Hi, I'm Damon Bonsor, CEO of the British Design Fund, and I'm joined today by Steve from Simplistik. Hi, Steve. How are you doing?
Hi, Damon. Yeah, I'm very well, thanks.
Well, look, this is just a quick interview. Give our investors and the community a little bit of an idea of one of our recent investments. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I originally actually studied aerospace engineering, quite some years ago now, but I've worked in lots of different sectors, including, kind of medical sector. But I kind of moved away, if you like, from aerospace more into sort of, product design and industrial design engineering. So I did a stint at the Royal College of Art and Imperial College, again, quite some years ago now, and I've enjoyed really kind of looking at how I can apply design to kind of really improving products, to have an impact on, the benefit for people. So that's kind of my, if you like, a little bit of my background.
Yeah, and so tell us a little bit about Simplistic. So I appreciate not everyone will know what it is that the need that you're addressing, but also just tell us a little bit about was there a sort of eureka moment? Like, how did you come up with the idea? How did you sort of know about it?
Yeah, so I've been working, in the sort of medical space for some years, and really it was kind of through, kind of seeing people use these types of devices. And this device is it's a blood lancet, so it's for taking small blood samples. Typically, people with diabetes and so on have to self-test and take a small droplet of blood, and then obviously check their insulin levels and so on. So it was really through, kind of understanding and seeing how people use these types of devices, and then actually also looking at the whole manufacturing process. So being exposed, if you like, to the kind of high-speed automation that sort of gave me this idea in terms of how I could improve not only as such a device for the user, but how I could also make it more cost effective and more efficient in terms of its production. So that was my kind of eureka moment, actually speaking to these various people, understanding the kind of users, and then seeing really how to produce something like this.
Yeah, because yours is an unusual approach for us at the fund. We don't often have people come in and kind of pitch and present a redesign of an existing product with the focus on sort of simplifying a potentially over-engineered product and driving down costs. So yeah, I must admit when we first met, that was what was of interest to us. So what's been the sort of the some of the challenges that you faced since you came up with the idea?
I think, probably the biggest challenge as always is probably getting that sort of idea into a prototype, to be able to prove and validate, if you like, the principle of the design and the thinking. And then spending a lot of time really, again, just speaking with users, understanding have we got the right device, benchmarking that against the competition, putting some soft tooling together to develop a prototype to prove out then the principles, and start really to engage with, high-speed automation companies to really understand, can we have an impact in terms of that cost. So again, self-funding that in the early stages is probably the biggest challenge, and getting the right people involved at the early stage.
And with your users, so I appreciate you were kind of developing and prototyping throughout various lockdowns. So how did you address that? How did you test your Lancet out on users to make sure it is what they needed and it worked sort of when access to people physically was quite restricted?
Yeah, I mean, through my experience within the medical sector as well, I've also got quite a few contacts that I've been able to speak to, talk through the device, talk through in terms of the innovation within this particular product as well, and get that feedback. So, so yeah, it's not been easy, I think, through lockdown. I think also, those challenges, you've just got to find different ways of doing it. Like, we're having this video conference call now. So I think that, it's knowing really, the right sort of people as well as asking the right sort of questions. And, from one conversation leads to another. So, so
Yeah,
you can,
and it helps as well the fact that you and the team, this isn't a sort of, it's not by chance that you're developing this type of medical device. Like, you've come from the sector, you'd already sort of had a strong understanding of that user need, and also, I suppose, the need of the intermediaries to constantly reduce costs on these things as well. Yeah, interesting. So what does it look like? What's 2022 going to look like for Simplistic?
Yeah, really, we're really actively refining the design right now for that high-speed automated assembly. So we're working very closely with a manufacturing partner to ensure that we've got all of the detail within the device ready for moving into production. So it's a refining process, really, and then we'll work towards getting regulatory approval. This is a Class 1 medical device. It's not too complicated, but we certainly want to get that regulatory approval in place, probably within, this absolutely within this year, and we'll kick that off within probably the second quarter of this year. And then really it's to have fully functioning devices that we know are going to be the appropriate devices for the production, but then we'll be able to secure sales of those first devices. And then really it's about raising the cash required to actually put it into production, which is quite a significant investment. So really this kind of first half is all about de-risking before we go into production, and then maximizing the opportunity.
Yeah, and Steve, you said that as you know, we're recording this now, so now we have it on record what you're aiming to achieve this year. That's good. No, look, we're very excited to be working with you and helping you on this journey, and look forward to it. It's going to be a busy year. Thanks a lot for your time, Steve.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's a very exciting time.